I'm gonna run right in, and before I start, I know a lot of people gonna say, how can he say that? How can he do it? That's his mom. That's cold to say, be the bigger person. I understand that, but my spirit is at peace with what I'm finna say and the way I'm finna talk. But as long as I can help somebody else, that's my only goal. Because talking about something that really affected me, that I know other people are going through or gonna face, man, that'll be enough that'll be enough for me. So here it goes. As far as I can remember, me and my mom have always had a contentious relationship. We've never been able to deal. I've never viewed my mom as a mother figure. I've never felt no mother love from her. My mama has never poured into my spirit. My mama doesn't hug me, tell me she loved. My mama has never made me feel like a son. My mom has always called, well, I ain't gonna say always. When I was coming up, she always called me names. Called me Slootfoot, Big Nose, Big Ear, homosexual, all kind of stuff. She's always done that. Always belittled me. Never liked any female I've ever dealt with. My mom has always caused confusion between me and my brothers and me and my other family members. My mama will call my phone and start talking about everybody I know, my brothers, her aunts, her siblings, and I ain't doing nothing but listening. And then she'll hang that phone up and call people and tell them I was talking about them and have people mad at me. She keeps me and my brothers at odds. She keeps me and my brothers apart. She's the reason why me and my brothers can't really get along like we need to be getting along, because of the way she is. She kept me from my dad all my life. I know she did. If she didn't keep me from him, she made it difficult for him to come around. I know that. She never liked any female I've ever dealt with. Always at odds. My mom is so mean. I don't know why my mom is so mean. When I see my mom's name come across my phone, I never want to answer, because I know when I answer that phone, my mama takes from my spirit. Because when she called me, she's talking about people, she's talking about her job and money, and talking about her family members that want money from her. That's all she do. My mama kept me from my dad, but she allowed other men to be in my life that were no good for me. I'm talking about, she didn't want my dad around, but she would have other men at the house having sex with them while I was there. What do you think that did for me as a young kid? I got to listen to her in there with that. But you don't want my dad around, but you're going to have them being an influence on me. What's cool about that? So I'm going through life with no parent. Then we moved all the time. Lights stayed getting cut off. Always the crazy guy. I got to come home in odd times of the night. I'm coming through the living room blacked out. They playing Keith Sweat, and some dude, I hear a voice over there in the dark. I can't see him, but I can hear his voice. Hey, man, what's going on, man? Your mom said you pretty good in football. Keep it up, keep it up. Then I go in there and go to bed. Then I come back for school in the morning. He gone. What do you think happened? But you didn't want my dad around. My mom, let me tell you about this right here. I moved myself into my grandmother's house when I hit junior high. I can remember going to little girls' house to meet their families and stuff like that. I can remember two little girls I was trying to date. I can remember two of their mom telling me to leave their house because they didn't want their daughter talking to me because of who my mom was. That happened to me twice. So I figured out, hey, when I meet people, I can't tell her who my mom is. I gotta bring my dad's name up if I want them to give me a fresh shot. So from that point on going forward, if I met anybody, I would throw my dad's name out there first and then my grandmother second, because I knew my dad was a pretty good guy. I hated my dad because of my mama, but I knew my daddy was a pretty good guy, so I would throw his name out there first. So I moved myself in the house with my grandmother because me and my mama wasn't. It was done at that point. So that went on for a long time. But then my grandmother got sick. And my grandmother had to, she was staying with me at the time at my uncle's house because he was incarcerated at the time. I'm gonna talk about this. I was getting off work one time. I was working third shift. I put my key in the door. I can hear somebody having sex. I can hear somebody having sex as soon as I turn the key in the door. So I walked in the house and my grandmother was sitting on the couch. She had Alzheimer's at the time. She didn't even know she was in the world. So I'm staring at my grandmother and I'm still hearing sex going on. And so I walk on a little bit. I was going through the house a little bit more. My little brother was a young guy at the time. He was in his room with his volume on his TV turned all the way down. And he was listening to my mama and this man in here, going at it. And so he looking at me smiling. By that time, I'm furious. So I walk on a little bit more. They got the door cracked and they screwing wide open like they're in the motel. No, my grandmother's in here. So I walk up in the door. I throw the door back in the room. Boom. They never stop. They still going. He's still on top of her. He rolling. And so I flicked the light on. And he turned around and my mama looked around. He never got off the top of my mama. And you know what my mama told me? Close that effing door and get the F out of here. Keep in mind, the guy never got off the top of my mama. Never got off the top of her. So I closed the door, left out the house and cried. And went to a little cheap motel and stayed because I ain't had nowhere else to go. So this is my mom's boyfriend now. So I get to the club one night. I see the same guy at the club with another woman. He laughing at me. He laughing at me when he saw me with another woman. So I jumped on the dude right there in the club. Whooped him so bad, my whole darn arm, when I thought I paralyzed my right arm. They threw me out the club and everything. That was because of what my mama did. And I jumped on him because him and my mama were disrespecting, him and my mama were disrespecting my grandmother and my little brother at the time. So that's things that's closely tied in to my mother. Let me give you another instance. That same guy jumped on my mama, blocked her eyes, had her looking like a raccoon. So my little brother got involved. The guy ended up stabbing my little brother. Then my grandmother passed away. So my mama came to my grandmother's funeral, eyes black. Wasn't even speaking to me. She was mad because I jumped on him. So when my grandmother passed away, me and my mother wasn't even on speaking terms. When my grandmother passed away. Me and my mama go without speaking most of the time. And it's been going on for and I faced it. I faced the fact that me and my mama will probably never deal. Actually, I feel like my life will be better if I don't deal with my mom. My life will go smoother. Man, I can remember